Well, we've had this set aside for a few days while I waited for a new bulb to come in. This here, I always like to put these speakers in a bag with some padding or something because they like to pick up screws and the cone can get messed up. So when I'm working on them, that's what I do. So what's going on? We're going to get a light replacement here. I've already removed the screw here that holds this in place. This is a fuse lamp, so it's a light bulb that looks like a glass fuse. Now these are almost never working, and the thing was, this was working when we first got this, but they're almost never working, so always someone's going to replace those when you see one of these restored. So now my go-to place for lighting and stuff like that is superbrightleds.com. They've got really good service and they're quick to ship, so I really like that. Now what I've got here is this unit right here, and I really like these. They're self-contained. They've got a cover here, which I like because even with that glass thing there, it gets kind of gunked up after a while just from the electronics. There's a smoke or something that comes off of those. It dinges down everything over the years. So this will be easy to clean at some point. Now I'm also looking at, see if I can do this carefully. So I'm also looking at, well, do I really want to, let me put it to you this way. When I upgrade to an LED, which I tend to try to keep everything original, but when I do that, I want to do it in a minimally invasive way so that it can be reversed if someone wanted to reverse it. So you can see that, let me go ahead and power down here. I don't want to get an issue when I'm moving things around. So it almost would fit in there. It actually could snap right down in there and work right there. Now this is, with these LEDs you have positive and negative, and when I say with these LEDs, of course all LEDs are going to go positive or negative. However, one option you could use for this, and you can get them at car part stores, is an LED festoon type bulb that's designed to snap in a car, and it is 12 volt. Now the thing with those are, talk about super bright, those are really, really bright. Those have internal electronics, so it doesn't matter. It will figure out which is positive and negative and do it this way. This has to be set into the proper polarity. So in this case, it's here negative, and this is positive. It's putting out 12 volts at about 275 milliamps, and it's going to run this just fine. Now what you'll see online with people who restore these is often they're using a really bright white light, and the radio tuner is just prominent. I mean, it just really stands out. Now when you think about that, is that really necessary? Unless you're using it as a night light, which again, hey, I'm not putting people down. You do whatever you love. It's too bright in my opinion. So these here are bright white. Let's see if we can get I did get a couple of them. So they call it a natural white, and I'm going to show you, that's what this one is. I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's just basically bright white. It's not the blue white. And this is warm white. Now why am I going to use warm white? Well, the bulb, that's what that put out. The designers designed the color of the glass for a specific reason. It's going to put out a green glow, and it's going to be a pretty glow that's going to match the emerald green of these green neons that I put in there. So I'm going to show you. Let's see. I'm going to show you what that looks like. The warm glow versus the bright white. Again, so we've got negative here. See if we can do this without causing any trouble. And again, this is personal preference. See if we can do this. Now, I'm not your mama and I'm not your daddy, so it's not my place to tell you to be careful, but we always try to do that. There's voltage on, there's high voltage up in here. There's household voltage in here that could kill you. Unless you know what you're doing, you don't want to be touching things. But this is direct current. It's okay. It's not going to hurt you. But I can't guarantee that's going to be like that on another clock you're working on. So be careful when you energize your clock. Okay, so this is the bright white. There's the bright white. All right, so now this will be the warm white, and there's a subtle difference, and but it's going to make that green glow nicely. It's going to be a nice green glow. So you see, it's subtle difference there. It's a warm white. It's bright enough. It's going to do fine. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead. Now what I think I'm going to do is, to get it to fit in there, I'm going to warm up this plastic here so that it doesn't, I don't have to bend these out as much. And then I might move these tabs outward. That's to hold the fuse bulb in position. That's all it does. I'll move those outward gently, and I will warm this up to where it seats better without having to bend this out. And you can do that if you wanted to. It's your clock, for goodness sake. And then I think we'll get a nice good fit. We'll solder. We're going to leave everything the way it was, except solder in the negative here and the positive here. And we're going to have a nice looking situation. All right, we've got her in. Let's see what happens. There it goes. So our new LED's in there, and we've secured it. It fits in there pretty good, but we secured it with this adhesive. As you know, maybe I use this stuff quite a bit. It's for dryers, the felt of dryers, so it's highly heat resistive, but it can also be undone, so you can scrape it off. And the bulb that was in there originally was actually glued in there as well. It had a certain kind of glue. It was a black glue, but it scraped off as well. So there it is. That's the brightness of it in full bright light. It's got a really good look in it. It's going to match our green neons really well. All right.